understanding. And when your life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. Life, the business, and the spiritual coach. And some of you follow me on YouTube. Some of you follow me everywhere I go. But I came to an understanding of what I'm sharing with you is you won't know how much you have in your life that is peaceful until it's broken or it's gone. And it comes a time where you have to make a decision or you have to pivot. And I realized in a whirlwind of chaos that if I didn't finish, I was going to repeat it. No matter what I lost, I was going to have to repeat that terrible, awful, horrific situation. And I knew in my heart that it's going to be a bright side after it all. But it wasn't looking nowhere near. It was dim the whole way. It was dark and dim. And then there was peaks of light. And then there was some valleys. And then there were lower valleys. And then it was a mindset of changing. And then there was a time where I just moved differently. And I said to my son yesterday, as he spoke out and said, you know what? This all was unlawfully done to us. And I said, what are you talking about? He's in real estate classes. And he's learning about, buying property, and how to become, and what laws go with, and so forth. And I said, you're right. And he said, we have to do something. And I said, well, God is doing something. And my oldest daughter, because he's my middle son child, was saying, well, it's the world system. And it's about money. And we need to think like the people. And I was like, well, how do the people think? And she was like, it's like selfish gain. Mind your business, but make sure you protect your business. And not only that, it's capitalism. And if you're not a part of the 10, so to speak, where you're looked upon as worth an amount, worth a value of material, then you're really not in the number of the 10 to be protected. I was like, Mary. Now see, this is another thing. When she went to apply for a job, she was unable. When she went to apply for school, she was stopped. And I was like, this hurts me that I can't help you. So the higher power that you're talking about that's dictating the world is not our power. Our power sits high on the hill and higher in the realms, looking down upon us and making certain we have what we need. So therefore, we must stay on the track that we have prospered in before. And my youngest daughter is in the middle of it all. And she's just kind of lukewarm. But when she prays, things change. And I'm saying to the Lord, don't change these children's heart for what has taken place, because they knew a good life. A life that they were comfortable with their mom. And they are looking around to say, who would do such a thing to this manner? Like, they're seeing the patterns as well. So this morning, the public service PSA to all those who are going through, God knows what he's doing. And I thank God that I didn't want to repeat that pattern. No, repeat that lesson. That everything that I lost is going to be greater. And I feel a lot better. And higher capacity of better than I was before the attack started, of my character and my mindset and my liabilities of life and what I had and didn't have, because people were throwing wrenches behind the scene and then putting the camera on me at the second time. But look at God, because you trust in the Lord. You should. And you don't know that this is taking place, which is all the attacks behind the scenes, but you are you're being recorded or people being directed to watch you. You overcome them. and you don't hurt anybody. And now you might feel like that was painful, and why would God do such a thing to make me go through such horrific, malicious evil? And the Lord would simply say, because I knew you was equipped to do it. Because I knew you could make it. And we also learned as a family that honesty and truth, it's greater than anything you can possess. Because when it comes down to you needing protection, the universe has to step in. Because the universe is basically our shield. And I figured this out when I was shield and buckler. The universe is your shield, and when things don't go right, the earth mourns and moans, buckling back. So, PSA for you grown adults going through, because we're being attacked just to not have our basic needs. And God has set things in place that we still meet our needs. But every time somebody decides that we shouldn't have, they lose tenfold. And I was saying to God, well, why aren't they listening to me? And God's saying, because people have been looking at you as if, how did you do that when I keep saying I can't? Or I don't want to, or I'm too addicted, or I've been doing drugs so long I don't want to stop, but I really, in my heart, seem to want to keep watching you because I know you are the victor over your emotions, over your discipline of your body, making sound decisions, trusting God with all your heart. When I know I'm taking away your finances and you still making a way. No, God is making a way. God is looking out and putting people in my path. And I continue to ask God to do so. And all these things are going to work out for the good of God. You repeat that. All these things are going to work out for the good of God. Because people are right now talking about what's taking place in a cozy home with at least a cozy place with their items of things that they accumulated in that lease. Some are benefiting off of other people's back. And you're looking around like, am I going out with nothing? Or am I to give up? Or are my kids going to be bitter upon what I didn't have control of? So that's why I gave it to God, and I'm reminding them that God is not going to leave us. And we had to look back yesterday over how far we've come. And I had to remind them of when. And they had to reflect upon, oh yeah, we're good. Don't let your kids be waddling in thought. Keep an open communication with your family. So when they are having doubt, because it would affect your inner circle, reassure them that Jesus is Lord. And it's only a temporary situation, and those who have come up against you for their thoughts, God knows their thoughts, whatever it may be, and they shall absolutely go through whatever they put you through that you've overcome. That's why God says, no, go through it. Because if you don't go through it, it's going to repeat in another person, another situation, another atmosphere. Finish it, and I will do the rest. Finish it. Open your heart to receive this morning, and our Father in heaven, we give you this day too. Thank you for us having this day. But we give you this day by giving ourselves to be our best self. Choose yourself to be your best self, and God will show you, I've never left you not one day. And you will become a true believer of God. After it all, God works in mysterious ways. And all those who are saying, you can do it, you're strong, you're this, you're that. No, it's not me. I'm just a vessel. It's God's work. It was His plan. And we shall prosper, and you will too when you do what's right. Amen. Amen.